A.K. Singh, A.K. Singh, the public prosecutor who's in the dock, and Sanjay Chandra are two people who will not be called before the JPC. That's a decision that the JPC has taken. We have with us JPC Chief PC Chacko. Mr. Chacko, what was the reason for the JPC deciding not to call any more witnesses, except for there is a slim possibility of Mr. A. Raja being called? The fact is that the JPC has in the past called witnesses like R.P. Singh, who did speak out outside the JPC. So why not A.K. Singh and Sanjay Chandra?
R.P. Singh was called because R.P. Singh was otherwise also a witness. When he made a statement outside, we called him a second time. And that cannot be compared to the reported persons yesterday, because we are interested in the instance, not in the individuals. There was a report about two individuals, and not that we call all the people whose names are being mentioned. That is not the practice of this committee. And there was no serious suggestion in the committee to call them. So that is another factor, not that, why not to call them means there was no suggestion to call them also.
You were saying there was no serious suggestion to call these two people, but the fact is the BJP, the CPM, all the opposition has been saying that they will be raising this very vociferously, not just in the JPC but also in the parliament session.
In the committee there is no opposition and ruling party. We are going generally by consensus. The consensus in the committee was to get the information from the CBI, what action they have taken, transcript of the tape, forensic report. On the basis of all these things, we can arrive at a conclusion, not to call them the people who are colluded and involved in criminal conspiracy. Calling them before the committee is not a desirable thing.
So where the CBI is concerned, sir, we do understand that the CBI chief has admitted that yes, they have not been able to keep their people in check, in the sense that the counter-intelligence wing has really not been working, and also the fact that they will be looking at the authenticity of the tapes and the source of these tapes.
That is not what the CBI chief said. CBI chief said that, he was asked a question, what this kind of things, how it can happen in an investigative agency. He said that their officers who are in charge of the investigation are under surveillance. There is a counter-intelligence system in the office, in the organization. So the antecedents of the people who are entrusted with sensitive jobs are also they take into consideration. So all these checks and balances are there in the CBI.
But in this case they did not work out.
In spite of that, nothing is perfect. Sometime all this arrangement, anything can fail. This they admit that this is a failure, but immediately they took action, and to rectify the damages or control the damages, they have immediately entrusted another thing and go. And then investigation is instituted in this to...
So now where the tapes are concerned, we do know the forensics will be establishing whether these are whose voices they are, and also will they be telling us who gave them the tapes and what the sources?
Yes. Those information they will be sparing with the committee, and prima facie conclusion is that this is a tape and this is a conversation between these two individuals. This is a prima facie finding. Forensic evidence and also the voice samples are to be tested. There are some scientific method by which it can be finally concluded. That process is on. Once that is there, we will be aware that information will be available to us.
Thank you, sir.
That will satisfy our purpose.